Gerrymandering is an approach where you cut and design a constituency or various constituencies to ensure a particular party wins elections. Is that be fair? About. Okay. So, for example, now Kapa has got, I think, right now 125,000 voters, whereas Padang Rengas has less than 35,000 voters, and Putrajaya has maybe less than 8,000 voters. So this tells you how lopsided it is, and it's worse still in Sabah, where it's 5,000, 4,000, 8,000, and so on and so forth. Anyway, coming back to Klang. Klang in 2008, there were about 77,000 voters, right? So we took a sample size of 6,000, and of the 6,000 voters, 3,000 voters, about 3,000 over voters, their names and the information are presently missing from the SPR database. So these are people who voted, right? People who voted, people's names who was in the list and presumably voted, their names are missing. Then there are about another 2,000 over voters who voted in Klang in 2008. Today their names are missing from Klang, but you will find them in 184 other constituencies in Malaysia, Peninsular Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak. And the large distribution went to Kapa, Kota Raja, Shah Alam, Kuala Selangor, and so on and so forth. So I wonder what the design here is. But at the same time, they're also very smart. Malaysian is very smart. They've identified, especially UMNO, has identified which seats they want to win and win badly. So for them, Port Klang is quite important. So just last year alone, that means in 2011 alone, there were about new voters, 10,000 new voters in Port Klang, because it's a PKR seat. So they want that seat back. It's an UMNO seat previously, taken over by PKR. And now they want the seat back. So they pumped in last year alone 10,000 new voters, and we haven't forgotten that this is the second quarter, which will see another increase of 2,000-3,000, and then we have 2009 and 2010. But the big increase took place in 2011. Now, if you know Port Klang, there are some places that are stagnant and cannot expand, but there are some places that can expand. So Bukit Tinggi, okay, you see Bukit Tinggi 1, Bukit Tinggi 2, you have Bandar Botanic, you have Ambang Botanic, you have Parklands. So these are all expanding new growth areas. So people are moving in. So you can explain, okay, why the numbers are increasing in those areas. But when you see in Kampung Idaman, where you can't build an extra house anymore, suddenly numbers increasing there. So suddenly in a house where there already existed 30 voters, now there's an extra 15 voters on top of that. And that's not only one house. You have a number of those houses where you have the sudden increase, surge I should say, of these unidentified new voters. Okay. Then in Panama, this is a classic case where that row is actually a shop lot, and it's, for all intents and purposes, is 190% Chinese though. The entire place though. Okay. But you have in that particular address 994 Jalan Papan, 994 Jalan Papan, you have the address, you have 60 names, and there are only 2 Chinese names and 58 Malay names. It's amazing, huh, what they're doing. What they're also doing is this. For example, like maybe in Supute, they know they can't win the seat in Supute. So what they're doing is, they're moving Supute voters, especially if you're an MCA member. Right? So MCA says, hey, we want to win Panamaran. Panamaran is an MCA seat. So they move the MCA voters from Supute to Panamaran. And then they move the UMNO voters to where else that UMNO has to win elsewhere. So this is the kind of manipulative strategies that the government is I think presently undertaking in order to win. At least in Klang, we've done some work to give a sense of how things are moving. So we get a sense of the game that is being played out. So the only response to that would be from our side that our supporters must turn out 100% of our supporters must turn out to vote in order to neutralize the group that will be brought into vote. That's the only way it's going to happen. Otherwise, the elections are going to be stolen by Malaysian. This will be the unfortunate state of affairs. And I think a lot of people are getting angry because they think that it's going to be stolen in front of them, and I think they will resist, they will fight back. Now, that is the state of gerrymandering for Selangor. And Selangor government has undertaken an exercise right now, because I think Selangor has recorded something like 340,000 new voters. 450,000 new voters. Like I think in Subang is 30,000 new voters. 31,000 new voters. Some 35,000 new voters. It's just amazing numbers are coming. So they've undertaken a study now where the PBTs are going to all the different houses to verify indeed that these are the new names in those houses. So that's happening right now to verify that these are really true voters and not phantom voters or voters that have been brought from elsewhere in part. So these are some of the things that are happening. But I think on our part we have to be vigilant. We have to get all of our supporters to come out and vote to make sure that the elections are not stolen.